does your application go? You guys we've heard, John, what's required for a registration, that type of information. So what happens when it gets to here at DPR? Well, we're going to walk you through this. We're going to kind of lift behind the curtain. You guys are going to take a fast look here. Now, this is our current org chart. There's all the information on there. You'll probably see some of the down here, your scientists' names that you'll get very familiar with. Again, be friendly with those people. Reach out to them. If you've got a question or a comment regarding it, they're more than happy to either contact you via phone or an email. Reach out to them first, before anything else, because they're more than happy to help with any problems that you might come up. All right, pardon me. So currently we have over 1,000 different active ingredients registered to over 1,500 different registered companies and over 13,000 registered products here in California. And what you need to remember is the better submission you give to us, the better the way that your process is going to run more smoothly. Because if we have, going back to that other org chart, we have less than 25 people looking at all of those labels that'll come in. They have a lot of work on their hands, and if they're doing it within that time frame, you have to remember you're not their only company. They have a lot of companies. In a typical year, we do get somewhere between 6,000 to 7,000 pieces of mail, which 4,000 to 5,000 registration packages. This could be data submission. This could be a new product registration, label amendments, notifications. What those are, we'll get into those in a little bit. But the average lifespan is 60 to 90 days for a non-new AI, which does not require a scientific evaluation. Now, if we're looking at all of those products, all of those submissions that we get in, and we're still sticking between 60 and 90 days, your RS is working hard. And a lot of people just don't think about it because, well, I need my product right now. Yeah, but your product had come in after somebody else's. For us, it's a first in, first out type of situation. And you need to remember that. That's the patience is one of the first things I could tell you. If I could put a gold nugget on a patience, that would be it right there. All right, so here is the flow chart of what we do from intake to evaluation to formal evaluation, submission evaluation to scientific evaluation to the registration decision and notification. Now, raise your hand. Who thinks that looks complicated? Anybody? Well, I've got RSs here at our table thinking that looks complicated. In reality,
also, sorry, Richard, this is included in your workbook too. Blow up because it's kind of hard to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's a lot more complicated than that. This is simplified. So what you need to remember there, again, when you're submitting something in, is that it's a lengthy process. And again, that's the purpose of this today. One of the main things, if you take away one thing today, one gold nugget back to your desk, tracking number, tracking ID number. When a package comes into the tracking system, you get a mail log number. The mail log will generate a tracking ID. Now that is a 6-digit code that is unique to that one specific product. So if you happen to call up, let's say Jeanette here gives me a call and says, hey, look, Rich, I'm looking for my product. Mine is Weed Killer 4 Fresh Breeze Scent, works at home. That's a long name, and if you didn't capture that correctly, it's going to take me a while to try to find that product. Now, on the flip side, if Jeanette said, hey, here's my 6-digit code, 234256, we could type it in really fast and find exactly where the product is. So that is one of the main pieces of information you need. How do you get your hands on that? Well, it's going to be emailed to you when we receive the product. Now, that's another thing that you need to remember is make sure you have a valid email address. Before you send it in, make sure that your email is correct. You'd be surprised on how many times we find emails bouncing back to us because you've misspelled your own email address. So that's how you get that tracking information. For more information, webpage on the bottom. All right, because we're sticking with the gold mining theme, and because, think about it, up to you guys, a product registration is the hidden gold at the bottom, our undiscovered ore. And we're gonna help you dig your way down to getting to it. We want you to have that gold, that California gold, basically. All right, so you gotta go through the mail log, has to go into intake, go to the indexing, regulatory scientists, evaluation. At that point, it's gotta go through public notice and then licensing. That's a lot of levels that we need to go through. We might as well start digging right now. Mail log. All right, so any piece of mail that comes in, it does not matter if it's a label, just a label or something else. The date, everything has to get mail logged so that we have record that it was here. Date received, we'll capture that. Name of the product, application fee, confidential statement of formula, how many labels were submitted to us, all of that information. We're gonna capture that again to know. So if you guys call up with that tracking ID number, it says, hey Rich, how come you didn't look at the data that I submitted? Well, we can go to the mail log and say, we don't have record of that you submitting data to us. So it kind of helps us, again, help you guys. Then it'll go to intake. It'll get entered in the tracking system. It generates a status sheet that for the RSs to look at, your specialists to look at. This will be what's on there though? Chemical codes, types of registration, the reg number, applicant email address, you guys, in case we need to contact you, general use description, and who it was assigned to. Then if there's data involved, it has to go to indexing. Now you can find how to do your data under how to indexing works is 2013-11. But the thing is that you need to remember is while Ann had talked about earlier about the PRDMS going all electronic, and we're really excited about that, we're still in the 1800s. We're still gold mining and chopping down, whatever we need. We still require everything in paper. As of right now, when PRDMS rolls around, it's going to be completely different, and I, for one, and I think everyone's excited about that. But what we highly recommend people is to, in addition to the paper data volumes, submit it to us in an electronic format also. Burn it onto a CD. Everything you submit to us, burn it on a CD. That's going to help us out. DVD if you need that much space. There has been times where we've also gotten flash drives. You guys have emailed flash drives and actual hard drives themselves. So, because a lot of data volumes involved, there's sometimes. It's happened. So I highly recommend doing that. With indexing, they're going to give a detailed report. It's going to be sent to you about, what did you send to us? What was the study, the title name? What was, how many volumes? What was the document number, the different test types, and who performed it? At that point, it goes to the regulatory scientists. That's these nice people sitting at the table. Let's wave to them. Come on, guys. All right. Kelly in the back. Hi, Kelly. All right. They serve as your primary liaison to the registrants. Now, here's one other little piece of information that I need to stress is some of you may have been around for a long time. You might know a lot of people here at DPR, and you know who the scientists are who might be reviewing your data. What you do not want to do is contact the scientist, the data review scientists directly. Always go through your RS. Why do you think that is? Pardon? Interrupting, slowing them down. While that is true, Susan, that is true. That's a good idea. But what also is happening is you're leaving your RS out of the loop of information. So if you contact directly to the scientist, your RS may not know that you were talking to them. And there could be something going on that could delay the other, because they're going to know, the RS is going to know what else is going on in different stations. So the other scientists might not. Always go through your RS. Don't contact the scientists directly. The RS is going to go ahead and they're going to coordinate. They're going to, one back. Review new and amended pesticide products. The other thing that a lot of people think about or don't think about when they submit into California is these scientists are looking at every label and every application that comes in. This is line by line, word for word, and it has to match the US EPA stamped accepted label. If not, then there's a problem. You'll be hearing from them, and you really don't want to do that. So again, they're going to review all the products that you're going to submit in, every document that you submit in, make sure that it's 5 by 5. They're going to coordinate scientific evaluations, figure out where it needs to go during the process, because there might be something that you have overlooked. So again, they're going to find where it needs to go. They're going to help recommend registration recommendations. And we actually have a foreign language translation group here. We have Teresa Coe in the back there, who does our Spanish. We have Hyatt Ford, who does our French, right? Hyatt French, all right. And yeah, I think that's it, right? All right. Couldn't quite remember. But we do actually, we have a group of people who do the foreign translations also, if the language is on the label. All right, so they're basically you guys are the miners, they're basically your shovel, because they're going to be doing the hard work behind the scenes for you. Think about it that way. Submissions may vary at any time, so God, keep pushing that button. Anywhere between 30 to 100 at any one station. As I said earlier, you're not going to be the only company that they have. They're going to review the status sheet, making sure that everything's okay. They're going to, again, like I said, they're going to check the whole entire package, line by line, word for word. And to help them, because that's a lot of information, we've actually created internal checklists that we recommend our scientists use, that they're saying, hey, do we have this? Yep. Do we have this? Yep. Do we have this? Yep. Because we need to make sure that we're going back to our original mission statement, protecting human health and the environment. So we're doing that again, to help us. They also identify the different scientific disciplines for routing. What station does it need to go? Where does it, what comes next? The RS is going to determine which path do we want to take on our search for gold. Return, evaluation, or proceed or finalize the product. Well, I'm pretty sure most of you guys don't want to see returns. We're going to try to keep you off that path. But let's say something happens and you have to go down that path. All right, so examples of why we might return something to you. Could be missing a fee, something as simple as that, missing data, EPA documentation. Legibility. Now, this is kind of funny. This is something I really want to touch upon, because one of the things that happens a lot is when you guys print out the 6 copies of the labels, sometimes it's illegible, because you guys aren't using the, sharp printer. Sometimes, things can get blurred when documents are rubbing against each other, stuff like that. So if they're illegible, we can't accept them. We can't review them. If we can't read them, we can't look at them. So one of the recommendations that I do to most people I talk to is, when you're in doubt, take a look at it. Can I read it? Yeah, I think I can read it pretty well. Then send it on in. If you look at it and if you're going, don't, just reprint it.
Rich, another take on that too for legibility. One of the things that we used to do, we still do it, that if there's any question, now this is old school, now I'm old, but it's old school. Look at my phone too, people will laugh at that, but fax it to yourself. If it comes off the fax machine and it's legible, then it's a pretty good chance that it's going to be all right. But if it's not, then it's a good chance that we'll probably turn it down. And the reason why we say that, because still every now and then, although we do have the age of the scanner and what have you, which is a much better system, there are some people that still want something faxed to them. So we just got to make sure that that label, if we do fax it to them, that's going to be legible.
Thank you, John. Also, some of the other problems we run into is matching the EPA stamped accepted label. Sometimes we'll actually hear from companies that say, I know this is not on the EPA, but I'll do it on my next notification. Yeah, we're not gonna go with that. Matching names, product brand name, application versus what's on the label itself. And then missing 6 copies of printed proof or final printed labels. Now, if you do happen to get a return, most people say, oh my gosh, you're going to return it and we're going to be out of luck. No, what happens is we let you know we return it, and we allow you 6 months to correct any deficiencies. There's a problem with the label, problem with something else. You got to run a notification to the EPA or something like that. We allow you 6 months to fix that problem, and you could still use all the other information that you had submitted into us. So if the application's fine, you don't need to resubmit an application, but remember, resubmit it under that tracking ID number. And if we don't hear back or we don't get what we need within 6 months, we shred the entire thing, and you have to start from scratch. So when a return does happen, go ahead and try to get it done as fast as you can, or at least within the first 6 months. All right, so then after that, after we've taken a look at it, it might have to go for evaluation routing. In the registration branch, we have 5 different branches: chemistry, microbiology, pest and disease protection, plant physiology, and ecotoxicology. We also would have to send in data to human health assessment, worker health and safety, and our environmental monitoring. Now, environmental monitoring, like John said earlier, is broken up into several sections. There's our air branch, our groundwater and surface water monitoring protection programs. When it goes from station to station for evaluation, you're going to get a notification, an email notification, saying that, hey, it has left Russell's desk and is now going to chemistry. It was at Russell's desk for 22 days. You're going to get all that information on that email. Again, having that valid email and that tracking ID is really going to help us, which in turn helps you. And then at that point, if it does require data evaluation, we have to enter it into our materials entering evaluation. It's our MEE notice. We have to let the public know that we are taking a look at this and why. At this point, after it goes through the scientific review, it needs to go in for a recommendation. Now, first, it's going to go to our environmental program managers. They're going to take a look at it. They're going to take a look at the data review, and does it make sense? Do we agree with what our chemist said or our ecotox group said? At that point, they make a recommendation to register, conditionally register, or deny the registration. Now, I'm pretty darn sure everyone's trying to stay away from this deny registration, right? No? Yes, okay. All right, so after it goes from the manager, it goes back to the regulatory scientist. They're going to go ahead, they're going to re-review the form again, the scientific review forms, and again, make sure it makes sense, makes sound science. If denying the registration, if there's a problem, we're going to contact the company and let them know, it's being denied and why. At this point, you have, it has to enter a 30-day comment period, which I'll talk about in a second. But at that point, you get that email. That's the time to, try to figure out what's wrong and how can I correct it within 30 days. And then it goes on to a weekly action log, again, informing, as one of our requirements to inform the public of what's happening here. It goes into our notice of decision, provides a weekly information of all products that have completed scientific evaluation. And then we post it we post our public comment for our decision. And the thing is we give it a 30-day public comment period. Now, what you're probably thinking is, well, we only get negative comments. And that's not true. Sometimes we do get, in our 30-day public comment period, positive comments. Hey, thanks for registering this. I think this is going to be great help in my cornfields or something like that. That does happen. It's not always negative. So anytime that you might hear you've got a comment, it doesn't mean, doom and gloom. But if it is, we need to address all the public comments before we can actually register the product. So if someone comes in, they say, oh, hey, I don't like this product, here's why, we have to address it before we can move forward. And we have a question in the back.
Do you have to address positive comments? Like,
no,
if somebody's going to make a positive comment, is that
no? But we'll
clock?
inform the company. Hey, and a positive comment came in.
Okay.
So, but we don't have to address good comments because it's good. Yeah. All right, and after that, it goes to post the final to register or final to deny. Then it goes to our licensing group. As I said, we're still in the 1800s. We still require everything on paper, so you're going to get a paper copy of the license. They get a license, the prepare a license acceptance letter. That's going to get reviewed by the RSs here, and then reviewed by their supervisor. To again, make sure that all the conclusions are correct. Does this seem overly redundant? Yes, but on the flip side, we're making sure that, again, we're making sound scientific decisions to protect human health and the environment. And again, everything we do is going back to our mission statement. A license then is mailed and emailed to the company. And then the product file is going to be created for our registration resource center. All right, so the license goes out to you guys. We're done, right? Wah, wah. Not quite. It still has to go through our coding. Now, Eileen back here is fantastic with a lot of our coding information. She will go through the label and put in specific information into our database. Human hazard signal word, active ingredients, some of the use sites, that types of information. And then it has to go to our registration resource center, which is, so remember we were talking about the 13,500 products? We have a file for every one of those in a lot of filing cabinets upstairs. So they're at ease, at hand, that we need to look at in case something pops up. They maintain active, denied, inactive products, also the special local needs, emergency exemptions, and other information like that. They also maintain the scientific data volumes and other documentation.